I became so sensitized to the whole thing of this, such that I saw every movement in the world, in Vietnam, in Chiapas, and anywhere, as if they are Palestinians. I recall in the 1960s when I was opposing the war in Vietnam in a march in New York, yelling, "Hey, hey, LBJ, how many kids did you kill today?" And tears were streaming down my face, because I felt as if these are Palestinian children that were being killed in Vietnam. And I still feel that way. It just seems like I end up analytically now, I realize that the whole sense of my activism is intertwined in my yearning to reunite with my mother, reunite, which never happened, reunite with my country, and reunite with myself. That became sort of like my essence. And that's why activism is really, it's very difficult and it's very taxing, but like it's embedded, it is like intertwined within my psyche in every which way. And it's not something like I'm doing anybody a favor being an activist. It's just there, and I do it because it's part of my identity. And so, in the final chapter that I want to share is when in the 1990s I had been an activist and exposed to a great deal, and was supportive of the PLO, work and so on, and I was scared shitless about going back under the Shamir government because I heard all these torturous, stories and so on, and I was petrified to actually go back and visit. But imagine I said, look, it doesn't matter anymore. I really, psychologically, I resolved no matter what happened, I have to go back. As if I became dismembered within, and I needed to go and to become whole. And so I decided to go. And I played it low key, and I went through, and I'm going through Ain Karim. Ain Karim, unlike the other Palestinian towns and cities, did not get destroyed. They kept it as is. So you go through Ain Karim now, and you see a village. It was as if it was in 1948. They kept everything the same, did not allow any high-rise buildings, nothing. And now it turns into sort of an artist colony. And all the rich, these artists, and in fact, I understand the leftists.
The yuppies, yeah.
the leftist, more anti-Zionist, I was told, live in Ain Karim, so which is nice. Well, in a sense, it's nice. But here's the thing. Now I'm going through Ain Karim, and the lanes are still the same. Everything's the same. My God, and I'm experiencing this surrealistic kind of walk from the Virgin Well towards my house, towards our house. Everything is the same. My God, nothing changed. As if I was 6, but I'm still I'm 40s, in my 40s now. And then I'm visiting with my daughter, who's 16, 17. So we go through this souvenir shop, and I go down the low street level about 3 steps, as if I have gone through these 3 steps down before, but I couldn't recall why. The souvenir shops, I am astounded by the amber necklaces, and I want to bring back to my daughters who stayed here, some of the souvenirs for the Bedouins make, the Palestinian Bedouins make. So my 16-year-old alerts this Jewish woman who was part of our delegation who went with us to this Nazareth work camp. She says, and God bless her soul, she died. She said, are you thinking of buying something here? I said, yeah, why not? She said, well, I think Monai, your daughter, will be mad at you if you do. Strange, why? I mean, I'm culturally really just wrapped into the whole thing. So I went to Monai and asked my 16, 17-year-old, what's the story? She said, well, these people came and stole your country, took over your town. This woman came from Utah. She opened this shop, and you are trying to give her money. And I felt so ashamed and so embarrassed from this, the wisdom from the mouth of babes. And I'm not stupid, sophisticated. Said, I didn't get it. Then, of course, I walked out. It is only about, I think, 6 years later. My sister comes in, the abusive sister comes in, and I, of course, open up with her, and I blame her and how awful that was, and she started sobbing. She's saying, but you don't understand. I had to become a mother when I was 15, and I didn't want to be a mother. And I started sobbing with her, for both of us. At the time I asked her, what was that house, the place where I went to the souvenir shop? And she said that was Uncle Isa's house. Shop. It was they had some Arab thing, rice and flour and so on. I did go through these steps before. No idea. I didn't. So now I go to make the trek to our own house. We had a 2-story house, and the whole thing. And I stood in front of the archway on the 2nd floor, and it says, whoever, in Arabic, "Man yadkhuluha fahuwa amin," whoever enters here is safe. And it's carved in the archway in some sort of amateurish writing. And I recall my father is a home builder, so was my grandfather. So I wonder if that was my father's writing or his father's writing. And then I'm contemplating, I said, gee, should I go ask the woman who is living there, some people are living there, for permission to go? And I really wanted to. But then I said, that really doesn't feel right. Why should I ask permission to go and see my house? It's vulgar. And then I said, well, maybe I should plop myself in the living room and just there, and come what may. After all, that's my house. And that was not a very wise thing, given what the outcome will be. Some Israelis will end up, and I'm with the delegation here now. So I decided, but then walking away was really cowardice also. So there it goes, not enough that I'm traumatized psychologically, but in these situations I am even more humiliated within. And none of these choices were healthy. None. So I walked away, and here it is, it's just, going back to the United States. You ask me, or you ask the interviewees, as where do you feel home? I feel that is home. My Karen is home. In a sense, because everything after I was 6 sort of went down to hell. It just, obviously, just like you see. But as if there's no way of recapturing it. And therefore, I don't really feel that that's home as such. I'm not saying that I don't want to return, definitely. Of course I want to return, that's a different question. But do I feel home here? No. We always stayed in a rental house. My family stayed in a rental house, always. Somehow as if we lived the transient mentality that we don't belong anywhere else. And I still live that. Although I have a mortgage and I have a home, etc. But I still live that transient mentality. And therefore, my home is myself. It's really within. And I'm not attached to a place. I'm attached to a concept. Home is having me relate to other human beings, have me relate to justice, have me relate to do what's right, be decent. As if that's where I live. I don't know. It's yet to be defined as to where my home is. I don't know. I guess I will stop here.